Wow.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast. Today is Wednesday, May 18th, 2022. Another beautiful day in southeastern Michigan, 49 degrees out and rain. I thought we beat that. I thought that it was springtime, rolling into the holidays, coming up at the end of the month. But once again, John Kolb, I guess I'm wrong. Introducing our panel today, Becky Alley. Hey, Becky Alley.
Hey, what is up, everyone? And even though it might be a little doo-doo outside with the rain, it's a good day to look at houses because you can see all the leaks, right?
That's right. Along with Becky Alley, who is top 1% of all mortgage originators in the United States, we have Mr. John Kolb. Good morning, John Kolb.
Good morning. How are you all today?
Everybody's great. Mr. Harvey Freed, host of the most hardcore mortgage real estate business show, over 30 years in the industry, 23 years on the air, 97.1 FM, heard every Saturday morning, host of the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. Good morning, Harvey Freed.
Everybody.
Yeah, and with us today, our realtor of the day is Samantha Sills from the Jim Schaefer team in Royal Oak from the Good Company. Good morning, Samantha.
Good morning.
We love Samantha. Yeah. Samantha was a former high school teacher. Do you know what it takes to be a high school teacher? It's not easy. Right, Samantha? Not easy.
It was not easy at all. I taught Spanish though, so my subject.
Well, welcome to our show. We put together a great show for everybody today. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, from obviously where mortgage rates are, what the trends are in real estate, what's going on as reported in the Detroit news today, a little bit of office vacancy going on, not only in Detroit, but all around the country. But first off, Samantha, we're going to hit you hard. We're going to get right into it. We're going to talk about what are you seeing right now in your office in the Jim Schaefer team, Good Company Realty in downtown Royal Oak, Michigan. What's going on? What trends are you seeing? And what trends are your team seeing in the residential real estate market today?
So, inventory is still really, really low. But with interest rates rising a little bit, we're seeing some buyers dropping out. They can't afford to buy in this market because prices are still high, inventory is still low. Some of them are giving up looking, which for the buyers that have a little bit of grit, a little bit of they really, really need a house, they are getting more offers accepted. I think maybe a month ago, it was taking about 5 offers to get one accepted. And right now it's at about like 2.5, 3, which is an improvement. So
excellent. But you're still seeing, you're working with a lot of buyers out there. You did mention that the inventory is still a little tight, maybe not as many people in the market right now, Samantha, but still multiple offers, still overbidding, maybe still some of the crazy contingencies, yes. Or is that backed off a little bit?
It's backed off slightly, but there is still, there's still bidding wars. But instead of seeing 10 offers on a house, you're seeing 5, which that sounds still like a lot, but it is definitely an improvement and we're feeling it.
Yeah. So Becky Alley, Samantha's in the Woodward corridor. That's where she is. That's where, her base is, and right downtown Royal Oak, which is, downtown Royal Oak has been a destination that people want to not only play in, but they're working in and they're living in. Becky, so let's talk about the trends that you're seeing in real life and kind of go ahead and piggyback on what Samantha says. What's going on in your market, Becky?
So to Sam's point is you do have some buyers that have hesitation, but the ones that are in it, they are triumphing because the people that are getting out of the market is just putting more of a light on the buyers that are here to stay and the ones that were willing to motivate and move.
I'm going to reach out back to him. I know your husband's a teacher.
Forward. Sam does not just do Royal Oak. She's all over the freaking place. Like, she's, for lack of a better word, a badass out here, right? So she knows how to set her buyers up for success. The ones that especially are hesitant, for example, we have a buyer, he was kind of wishy-washy on, what he wanted to do, the kind of house he wanted. He wanted to buy non-contingent, which he is, but, we were suggesting maybe he put his house on the market, but, between the expertise of Sam and myself, we're able to get him an accepted offer in a great market. And now she's going to be listing his house. So she's not a one-trick pony. She's all over the place.
Beautiful.
And buyers, they are going to hesitate a little bit, but I don't feel like we're going to lose buyers. It's just a matter of if you have a good LO, it's just adjusting those price points, right? The interest rates are going to make their payments go up. But if you're in constant communication, there's no need for people to be freaking out or being hesitant, because we are here to instill the calm. I'm personally not losing any buyers because I'm in constant communication all the time, constantly adjusting numbers. But there are some lenders out there that really kind of leave their buyers a little bit out in the rain, you know, for lack of a better word for that too. But we're here to kind of help everyone to the best of our abilities. But people are going to hesitate. But if you can pay 9%, 25% on a credit card, you can definitely afford to pay a mortgage. And it just matter of just dropping that sales price a little bit.
Yeah, Becky, to quote your grandma,
Yes.
honey, I paid 12 and a half, 13, 14, 15. There's nothing wrong with paying 6, 7, 8%.
Oh my
right?
God. Grandma Allie will laugh. So she literally can't keep a straight face when she's talking about people complaining about a 5 or 6% interest rate. She can't keep a straight face. I think we're going to have to get her on the podcast for a cameo, because just her cute little Southern voice is everything.
I'm down with
When
that.
she's
I think we
laughing
should.
about it.
I think we should definitely do that. John Kolb, you are situated in Royal Oak, Michigan, my man. You live in Royal Oak. You've been a resident of Royal Oak for a long time. What are your realtor partners saying on the market right now? What's going on with you?
Same thing Samantha is saying. It's just, you know, there's just not that much inventory. Buyers are dwindling a little, but that doesn't mean that there's still going to be enough inventory of the buyers that are still out there. So we just got to still play the game, make our offers attractive as possible, make sure that we're backing up our realtor partners with anything we can do, calls, text, emails, Saturday, Sunday, just to make sure that the listing agent is well aware of how awesome our buyers are, so that we can make sure that everybody is successful. I mean, like we always talk about, it's a team effort, and between the buyer's agent, us, title company, listing agent, and the seller, making sure we get it to the finish line.
Yeah. So, Harvey, I'm going to go to you next, but I want to ask Sam this question. So, Sam, what are your buyers specifically looking for now? Because as you know, we'll get into this in our next couple of segments, you know, buyers are able to stay home and work now. So there's a lot of retrofitting, right sizing, and right fitting their homes to have a home office. When you're taking buyers out, what are some of the needs that they're looking for? Now, my friend Harvey Freed for over 30 years told me a built-in pool is what people want. Okay, they want a built-in pool. They want the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip. What are your buyers looking for?
I mean, my buyers are mostly looking for space. Actually, all of the ones that I'm working with right now, they don't care what it looks like. They just want space, whether that's space in the yard, space for a home office. They just need, or I have a buyer that is looking for a house based on a very expensive hand-me-down couch that won't fit in any of these living rooms in these Royal Oak bungalows. So,
so they're actually going to buy a house to fit around their couch as opposed to the other way around.
Yes.
All right, Harvey. I don't know, Harv. You got to give me something on that. Now I know you love the built-in pool and you love the backyard. You are a gardener. People don't know that Harvey's got a green thumb. But Harvey, what are your buyers looking for right now?
Well, they're looking to get their offers accepted, Harry. I think that they've really been the ones that have had 5, 6 multiple offers and they can't get their hands on a house. You see a little bit of desperation creep in there. And then, as Ms. Sills is saying, she's talking about families maybe dropping out of this buying arena. The interest rates go up. I always like to do a little math, Harry. I did the math at 100,000, 3% versus 5% is $115 difference. Times that by 3 if you buy a $300,000 house. So when we talked about buyers getting out of the marketplace, a $300,000 loan amount is only $345 more now than it was last year. So let's take it a step further. 345 times 12. Yes, if you didn't buy a house last year and you're looking to buy in the summer of 2022, it'll cost you out of pocket $4,140 more, about $4,000 more. I'm going to throw it to the panel, Harry. That doesn't sound like a deal killer. If you could afford that $300,000 house, it appears that extra $4,100, $345 a month should be affordable. And again, we know the rents are going through the roof. So Samantha, no doubt, we want to get these families in a houses sooner than later.
Oh, for sure. People can't afford to rent. You have to buy. Rent prices are too high.
Harvey, I'm going to take your math and I'm going to take Samantha's experience and I'm going to throw it over to Becky right now. Mortgage applications are down from the previous week and for the year. Purchase applications, as Samantha is experiencing, have declined 11% over last week and 15% down from the same time last year. So, Becky, as Samantha said, maybe not 5 buyers, maybe 2.5. Okay, maybe not as many, but it's still going on. The overbidding, asking, over asking. I mean, what are your comments on that? You're still working with a lot of buyers, right? You've got 80 pre-approvals out right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're hustling. We are constantly in communication with everyone. But I will say there is a little bit more of a hesitation in that $300,000 to $400,000 price point, because obviously the interest rate payment is a bigger adjustment than if it's a $100,000 house, right? You're looking at a bigger jump in scale. So those higher price point buyers are a little bit more hesitant as far as how they're evaluating their payments. But again, all that comes from communication, adjusting your budget. Okay. It's a car payment, really, compared to last year, you're looking at a car payment higher. You can afford these things, but it's all about budgeting and what's fitting your lifestyle. So if that $300,000 home is pushing a little bit above, well, then maybe we're looking at 250. But to Sam's point, how people are a little bit bowing out, it's just allowing more people to get their offers accepted faster. So what does that mean? That means less frustration from these buyers. They can go in these offers with confidence, and you're not seeing that desperation. Now there are overbidding happening, but I probably have like a couple, like maybe 3 or 4 with these major escalation clauses, but the other ones are right at purchase price. Because what's happening is there's a lot of bad pre-approvals out there, and some of these transactions are falling apart. And I have a good 5 where we're the backup offer. I'm coming in at the 11th hour, fixing it because another lender couldn't do it, and we're closing it in 2 weeks. So it's all about communication. Things happen on a transaction, but you need to make sure you work with someone that can finish it and see it through regardless of what happens, because buyers do self-sabotage themselves. It's not always a bad lender. Sometimes it's the buyers doing the things that they don't know what they're doing to hurt themselves, but it's having an experienced loan officer that can see it through and get through these issues that really matter, and it's going to get these offers accepted.
Yeah. So, Sam, has your team changed their philosophy at all? When you do your weekly or daily meetings and you talk about offers that you're going to put in and maybe kind of going a little high, have you guys changed at all philosophically how you're approaching some sales?
I mean, I think that we're finding ways to get creative that are not just with money, right? So, removing other contingencies, or, offering something additional, which I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't want to give away all of our secrets, but offering things that are monetary but don't ride on an appraisal or things like that.
High fives for everyone. That's what they're doing. You get a high five with every accepted offer.
Yeah.
Well, I love that. And that's, we always have to be creative. We always have to be thinking. We always have to be moving on our feet, especially John Kolb, since this environment is rapidly changing. Federal Reserve Chairman John Kolb, Jerome Powell, indicated that the Fed is going to continue to hike rates as needed to get inflation under control. Now, what does that mean? Read between the lines. If inflation doesn't get under control relatively quickly, you're going to see not only more rate hikes, but the significance of the rate hikes are not going to be 1/4% or 0.5%, John. They're going to be 3/4 to a point. Thoughts on that?
I mean, there's also theories out there that these rate hikes aren't going to really control inflation. So, I mean, inflation is out of control for other different reasons.
I agree with that. I agree with that statement.
And that the Federal Reserve is overseeing what can actually help to stop inflation. And by just making these crazy increases, all they're doing is adding fuel to the fire. So, I mean, we're not in the same history as we have in the past. We've all been through this before, where we've seen inflation, rate hikes, increased appraised values and property values, and then it comes back around. But I think we're in a different climate right now. So I don't know what they can do. I would like them to hold firm on the rates right now. I think they're in a good position, just to see if that might help to curb some of this, because with increased prices for groceries, gas, homes, everything under the sun, people are really straining right now.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this. I did not go to the University of London School of Economics, but I don't think I needed to. And here's my personal opinion. I'm not an economist. I do not play one on a podcast. I certainly do not want to play on the radio show. But it goes like something like this. As a consumer, gas is at $4.50 a gallon. Nobody is stopping. They're not stopping their driving habits. They're still going to pay. They pay $7 a gallon for gas. Okay, American consumers, we want what we want. That's number one. Number two, they're not, we can't make enough cars right now. Allegedly, there's a chip shortage. There's a shortage of cars. People want to buy cars, so they raise the price on cars. The prices are going through the roof because people are willing to pay it. My opinion is the Federal Reserve is not, John Kolb, not going to be able to stop that. So here's my however. Again, that's just my opinion. So it goes like this. What does that mean for housing inventories, pricing? Are we going to see a recession? Right now, are we going to see 6% to 7% interest rates in the near future? And if we do, Harvey Freed, what does that mean for the housing market?
Well, I'm going to say that the housing market will slow down if we see interest rates creep up, I think, over 7%. That's going to change things just a bit. I think also landlords would have to reevaluate if more and more families are having trouble making that rent per month. But Harry, I don't see, and again, I don't have a crystal ball either. We're hoping that it's not as drastic and that they don't need to curb it. They don't need to go to 7 or 8%. But I would say that would be a scary number. And I don't necessarily see that happening. I think this summer will really tell us where our economy is going. And again, by the way, there's a war going on in the world. And I think that also plays an effect to where the interest rates are going to go. And not only to speak that, the mortgage-backed securities, the MBS buying, that accelerated program they had over the last 2 years, they are going to stop buying the mortgage-backed securities. And that hasn't even taken effect yet. So let's see what happens. Again, somewhere between in the middle fives right now, depending upon what your credit score is. Hopefully they stay under 6% for most families.
Okay, last but not least of the geekiness, Samantha. I tend to get a little numbers crazy, a little mortgage geek going on here. Right now, if mortgage rates go to 6 to 7%, first of all, that's I'm going to go. I side on Becky's grandma. Those are not high rates. What does that really mean? After all, Sam, we are in the 11th year of a seller's market with an extremely low mortgage rate environment. It's got to correct itself. We're seeing the stock market correct itself. We're going to see the housing market correct itself. But Sam Sills, it doesn't mean people are going to stop buying houses. It just means that we're going to get to a more normal market, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's not exactly, an issue with interest rates. People need houses. Millennials are the largest generation in America, and all of us are moving out of our parents' house, right? So those of us who have to stay at our parents' house, I mean, they're probably going to stay there for a little bit, but we need to start building more, right?
I love what you're saying. I do. I love what you're saying because, see, it's such a common sense conversation, Sam, that Becky and I, John and I, Harvey and I, Lisa Lawson and I, we talk about the population, right? So the baby boomers were the largest population. Baby boomers had kids. They're now millennials. So you know what that population's doing? It's exploding. And Becky Alley, remember there was talk 2-3 years ago that millennials aren't going to want to buy houses. Wrong. They're the largest population segment of the population looking to buy homes. You're
talking 45 million in that age group that are prime buying age that are entering this market. The issue, like we talked about before, there just wasn't enough homes built over the last 10 years, right? So now here they are, they're graduated, they're buying their homes like later on in life. I was 24 when I bought my first house. Most people right now are buying their first homes when they're 35. It's just different because they're going to college. The lifestyle is different. I'm on the upper echelon of the millennials, but renting is not an option because what was happening is these landlords got gobbled up the properties. They took advantage of the rates because they had the cash to do so. And right now they're making rent go through the roof. And, you know, I do empathize with these buyers, but people are always going to need to buy. They need to get off mom's couch. They want their own space now. They've done the dorm life with college. They're ready to be adults now. So we're here to make it happen. So 7%, we just adjusted sales price. You're not going to lose a house, and Sam's going to get you that offer accepted. Boy.
Yeah, there you go. I think an interesting thing that came out in the Detroit news today, John Cole, was that if you read the news today, office vacancies are on the rise. Office vacancies are on the rise. People are getting used to working at home. Actually, companies, big law firms, big CPA firms. I know that we do not have a mandatory office policy here. If you can do your job, John Kolb, and work from home and either buy a new home, make adjustments to your home, right size your home. I mean, maybe you want to come into an office 1 or 2 days a week, but I don't see companies returning to mandatory going back to work in offices. John, what do you think?
I think unless you put a lot of money into a campus in an inner city, that they're going to start forcing you to into the office. And then you're going to get a lot of upset employees. But agreed. I don't think that the need for an office building is as great as it was in the past. Definitely a place where you can go in and meet some clients, have a meeting, do what you need to do every once in a while is something that will still be needed because there's nothing better than face to face. So you can get to see people. Zoom's great, but without having you face to face and getting to see emotions and body language and everything like that, then whether somebody's actually wearing pants, you just never know.
Well, I'm a big believer, John, and this is the hardcore.
I'm wearing pants, everyone. I want you all to know.
You know what? In this day and age, I can't even comment on that. So anyways, this is the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. We are an equal housing lender, 22898 is our MLS number. Why do we bring up offices? Because, see, what we do in the office directly has to do with and correlates to your home life situation. If Sam Sills is taking somebody out that doesn't have to go ahead and go to an office, that person's going to have specific needs for their house. Maybe they need that bonus room. Maybe they need that loft. Maybe they need that conversion space to a home office, Sam. And I can tell you this, that we're seeing a lot of those buyers right now.
Yeah, I think the pandemic definitely changed what people are looking at in houses. Before, I feel like they used to be driven about how close it is in proximity to their work, where their workspace is. And, now with that option, because of COVID, being able to work from home, it has totally changed what people are looking for. And like Sam is, talked about, they're looking for space. They're looking for a house that's going to fit this awesome vintage couch, and not so much how far they got to drive to work. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Sam, I'm going to give you the last word. What's going on? Any new listings you have coming up? Anything you want to talk about in terms of what your team's doing, clients? Again, any new inventory coming up that we want to tip people off on?
Yeah, I have. Becky actually already mentioned I'll have one coming up in Warren. A great opportunity for a first-time home buyer. It's a home under $200,000 right now, which those are hard to come by. Then I've got our team has got a really, really cute one I saw last night that is coming soon on Thursday. So I can't give specific details, but it's really close to downtown Royal Oak. It's got the space, got the garage. They got a garage gym that's gorgeous. That's another thing people really want. Mm-hmm. Is garage gym.
Harvey Freed, you want a garage gym, right?
No, I'm okay going to the gym. I'm okay with it. My garage.
Well, everybody, this has been the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. Our special guest today was Samantha Sills, Sam Sills, from the Jim Schaefer and Associates team, from the Good Company, right in downtown Royal Oak, Michigan. Hot area, has been, will be. The continuing updates of downtown Royal Oak, it's phenomenal. And I have to be sarcastic. They wanted you to back in the parking spaces in downtown Royal Oak. I think they're trying to overturn that, right, Sam?
I think they voted that they're going to keep it because they spent so much money.
It now.
Oh my
So
God.
everybody out there, if you're going to park in downtown Royal Oak, You have to back into your space. I don't know what that means. For Becky Alley, John Kolb, Harvey Freed, our producer director, Roberto Beauchene, this has been the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast, Wednesday, May 18th. Thank you, Sam Sills, and we'll talk to everybody soon.